Jim Otto, one of the original Raiders. 1960, the team was founded, and he played with them from that year through 1974. 15 seasons. One of only 20 men who played for the entirety of the AFL, all 10 years. For me, when I think back to when I first discovered football, Jim Otto is one of the first guys that stood out to me. The 00, distinctive.
Yep.
And just everything about him oozed football. 74 surgeries due to playing football.
I didn't know.
His right leg was amputated in 2007.
Damn.
Died at age 86 on Sunday. 74 surgeries.
Yeah, I mean, my recollection is similar to yours. I mean, I know you're a little older than me, but as we've discussed before, I'm a historian. I grew up in football, right? When I would go back and watch old things, Jim Otto was one of those first, old school guys you learned about. Chuck Bednarik, Sam Huff, right? Dick Butkus, Jim Otto. Wait, he wears 00? That's not a football number, Dad. What the hell? Andy's the center? What the hell's wrong with this guy, right? I mean, literally, it was just, and of course we know, special player. But the look, he embodies Raider. I mean, show that clip again. I mean, the damn guy was crying blood there for one. It just shows you how rough and tough he is. And I had no idea about the amputated leg. That was news to me. But it speaks to the guy, the love of the game, and the abuse he put his body through.
I was doing a little research on him last night. He wore 50 his first year. He wanted 00 because it was something that was distinctive and would stand out when you're playing that key position in the middle of an offensive line. This was the first word of his passing yesterday from Phil Villapiano, a teammate with the Raiders. The team later confirmed the news to the Las Vegas Review-Journal and then issued a statement. Mark Davis has a video of him lighting the flame inside Allegiant Stadium in honor of Jim Otto. Really the original Raider, and a guy that when you think Raiders, maybe he's the guy on the logo. Maybe he's the guy in the helmet. Maybe that's what the patch covers up, where the blood was under the eye. Maybe that's the whole idea for the patch in the first place. But he was and always will be the Raiders. And even though cognitively, by all appearances, he was fine.
Yeah.
And, every time one of these players makes it that far into his normal life cycle, it's like, just think about the brutality that he experienced. He's had quotes about how it was a war, and think of the rules back in those days. There were no rules.
No.
There were no rules. Gouging and twisting and kicking and punching and biting and anything and everything necessary to do your job. There wasn't the regard for safety there is now. There wasn't the brotherhood among players. I think that's one of the benefits of free agency.
It is.
Guys move from team to team. It isn't we all hunker down. You've talked about that before. You don't hunker down in your camp, and we hate those guys.
Yeah.
We see them twice a year. We can't identify with them. We don't know any of them. We hate them. That's gone now. Back in Otto's day, that's the way it was. It was far more brutal than anyone can even imagine.
Personal hate. He hated the Steelers. I'm sure he hated the Chiefs. It wasn't just like talk. It was, that guy punched me in the face last year in a game. I'm going to get him back this year. I hate him. I mean, that's what he grew up in. The autumn wind is a Raider. That's, he's like a guy I think of when I hear that. Always.
The autumn wind is Jim Otto.
Right.
And consider this quote. When PBS Frontline did the closer look at concussions, they interviewed him.
Yeah.
I found the full transcript and the full video. This is his quote, because he did have head trauma. Just because he didn't have obvious cognitive problems later in life, he said he did have some. This is his quote. There were so many times I would walk off the field and my eyes would be crossed. Did you ever have that happen to you? Get hit in the head so hard, your eyes were crossed. You sit there. It's strange. It's really strange. Or what about if you had amnesia for 2 days? When you looked at your wife and you didn't know who she was and you couldn't remember. You got hit in the head and you had amnesia for 2 days. That's how it was. And they just accepted it. And, a lot of the guys knew this is how it goes. And they still did it. And I think Jim Otto at some point said he still would have done it with all the surgeries and everything else. He still would have done it. That these are the battle scars of the life that he chose to live. And he lived it well. Condolences to the entire Raider family for the passing of the ultimate Raider, Jim Otto. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.